Hi, boys and girls. We're going to talk today about the clock, and we're going to focus on minutes. Now, I know that you've been learning about the clock with Mrs. Beckman and Mrs. Sakota for some time now. So in third grade, we bump it up a little bit. You have spoke to Mrs. Sakota, and you learned that a clock is 60 minutes, one trip around, and that equals 1 hour. You've learned that when you go all the way around the clock twice, that's 24 hours, and that equals a day. And you've learned from me just recently that the 3, 6, 9, and 12 make up the quarters of the clock. I know you learned from Mrs. Beckman that each one of these numbers on the clock represents 5 minutes. Today we're going to focus on the numbers that are in between the 5s. When we're counting by 5s, we're skip counting. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. That's how, when the hand is nice and neat, the long minute hand is nice and neat on a number, it's easy to read. 12, 55. I'm looking at it upside down. 12:55. When you are doing numbers, though, when you're looking at the clock, it's not always nice and neat. Sometimes it's in between numbers. So what time is it then? Well, if you have a clock like this, there are hash marks in between the 5s. How many hash marks do you think are between the 5s? Anyone want to take a guess? There's going to be 4. And why is there 4? Because we count 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. So there's 4 in between those two numbers. So right now, my minute hand is not pointing to 12 or 11. What time is that? I'm sorry, I'm doing it upside down. I'm gonna pick a different time here. Maybe that'll help Mrs. M's brain a little. Okay. Let's see if I can get this situated. It's not always easy peasy. There we go. Okay. So now, where is my hour hand? My hour hand is not right at the 1. It's not right at the 2. What does that mean? Well, it means it's somewhere between 1 and 2. It's closer to the 2 than it is to the 1. Why? Well, because when it was 1 o'clock, the minute hand was on the 12 and it was starting to go all the way around. As it starts to go closer to the 12 again, it's going to be another hour. So that hour hand starts to slowly move down. So right now we're between 1 and 2, and our minute hand is also between the 10 and the 11. So we have to count those hash marks to see where exactly we are at. So if I take my finger and I go up with it, I'm 2 hash marks from 50. So 51, 52. It is 1:52 on our clock. Let's try another number. What time is it on our clock now? Well, again, our hour hand is not next to a number. It's in between a number. It's in between the 4 and the 5. So that tells me it's going to be 4, and I'm after the 6, and 6 represents 30. So it's 4, 30, 1, 2. It's 4:32. Okay, one more. We look at our clock now. What time do we think it is? Our hour hand isn't exactly pointing to the 7, but it's pretty close. It should be closer over this way, I would say, like that. Okay? What time do you think that is now? Take a minute to make your guess. Look at where the hour hand is. Look at where the minute hand is. What time is it? If you guessed it was 7:46, you guessed correctly. Because watch, boys and girls, if I move my minute hand up, you will see that it's 8 o'clock. It was between the 7 and the 8. Okay? I hope that